Let's be honest here for a moment. Politics are fucking exhausting. Doesn't matter if you're discussing it with people, if you're learning about it, if you're thinking about it, if you're trying to implement it, it is always exhausting. It doesn't matter what side you're on, or how extreme or how willing to compromise you are on your positions. If you're a communist, you can't just murder capitalist oligarchs and redistribute their wealth to the poor. Inheritance law doesn't work like that. If you're a fascist, you can't just build murder factories to annihilate the genetically inferior. Building codes won't allow it. If you're an Islamic fundamentalist, you can't just rape infidel women in the streets. That would be indecent exposure. If you're an ANCAP, you can't sell your children into slavery. They'll be useless as slaves if they have to be paid minimum wage. No matter what you believe in, there is always something, always some minute shit that is different from how you think that society should be optimally working. And this isn't just for people who are on the political fringes. The centrists that actually do get to implement policy have to argue about the minutiae of the semantics of individual paragraphs because everyone around them has a slightly different, slightly wrong vision of how things should be. They just don't get it. They think that they are the ones who are correct and you are the one who is not correct. And that's bullshit. After all, you have done the work. You have listened to the great minds. You have studied the issues. You have acquired the skills necessary to know what's what. For all the respect you have for your peers, they just don't understand the situation as well as you do. But wait, it turns out you're not infallible. What if the decision you have been empowered to make is the wrong one? What immense responsibility resting on your shoulders. Maybe you should leave some of the decision making to your allies that know more about these specific things than you do. But how can you trust them? How do you know that they will make the right decision? Maybe they will make the wrong decision because you allowed them to. Maybe they're not interested in making the right decision at all. And the issues, oh Lord, the issues. There's important things to be done, yet we are getting bogged down in bullshit semantics. This whole Macedonia-Greece issue, what nonsense it is. So they want to call themselves Macedonians, because that's what the region has been historically called, but you won't let them because Macedonians are Greeks and they speak a Slavic language. How could you be so consumed with pride about something so insignificant? How could you not allow these people to do this simple thing that would never affect you at all ever? And this shit has been going on for 80 years. Millions of dollars and the man hours of trained, intelligent bureaucrat wasted on this bureaucratic imbroglio for what? You know what you could have done with that money? You know the debts you could have repaid, the pensions you could have sustained, the schools and hospitals you could have built. And instead, you wasted it on this? But it's politics. Shit like this happens all the time, all over the world. It's a beast of inefficiency, bogging us down as a species. Everybody has a different opinion on how things should be done, and it doesn't matter where you stand, you are always fighting against the tide. If you're on the outside, fighting against the system, anything that you have done could be undone in minutes. Anything that you do, your life's work, it could be worthless because a fact is completely outside of your control. The system will defend itself. And if you want to change anything at all, you will have to swim up against the stream. And if you want to swim up against the stream and reach the top, you will have to sacrifice everything. Your life, your health, your family, your career, your free time, the things you enjoy, all of it will have to be squashed so you can dedicate your entire existence to your politics. And for what, really? When you're on the inside, you have to navigate relationships of power. You have to compromise with the corrupt and the differently minded. And in the end, when you die early of exhaustion, you will not have accomplished a fraction of what you initially set out to do. Just binge watch a couple episodes of John Oliver, and you will find such a huge amount of problems in just one nation that you have to fix. But then you realize that John Oliver as a program has a massive bias as well. And then you have to inform yourself on the issues in all the different facets and narratives to maybe distill the truth out of something, and you just don't have the time. You begin to realize that all these problems, nobody's doing anything to fix them, and new problems are popping up every single day. And some of them happen because some less important problem was poorly fixed. You will run into powerful people who have a vested interest in keeping things the way they are. You will run into people who believe there is no problem, and your solution would be the thing that will cause the problem in the first place. And all the while you fight, all the while you continue to expend energy and resources and valuable lifetime to fix the most menial and minute things, the enemy is making headway. Because the enemy is not your political opponents. The enemy is not the problems or the people who profit from them. The enemy is the resistance, the infuriating languor with which the system moves. The system never does what anybody wants. On no level of the system will it ever function optimally in the opinions of anyone involved. And it is always exhausting to fight against resistance, no matter where you are, because you will encounter it everywhere, because politics is everywhere. Have you ever been part of a student political body of some sort? Do you have any idea how irrelevant, how insignificant the issues discussed there are? But it's vicious. Everybody wants the specific concessions that they personally desire, and the apathetic ones always seem to side with the enemy that has an agenda that is diametrically opposed to your own. It's exhausting. It is always, always, always exhausting. Even when you're not doing anything, when you're maybe talking to family and friends about politics. They get so angry, they get so entrenched in their positions, they're so inflexible in their thinking, they're so unwilling to be convinced by the things that you know more about than them. Even watching YouTube videos, if you agree with 100% of what they say on politics, is exhausting. You will get angry at the issues, you will get mad, and you will feel powerless to fix them because you can't. And if you disagree, even by the slightest bit, the fact that this person is incorrect about something that you know more about than them, yet they are the ones with the platform while you are not, is frustrating to no end. So why? Why is the system set up this way? Why is this horrible resistance even a thing? It prevents us from fixing the problems that need fixing. It wastes time and resources, and it makes us physically and emotionally sick. And I'll tell you why. The resistance is the single greatest weapon that liberal Western democracies have against being overturned by ideologues and totalitarians. The system is set up so nobody can ever get their way. Because if you can get your way, they can get their way too, and they might not be as tolerant of you as you would be of them. This is why politics is exhausting. This is why it is inefficient and often ineffective, why it requires so much work to do so little. It's because that is the thing which protects the most valuable achievement ever made by humankind: individual rights. It's the price we pay for liberty. We can't always get everything that we want, and it is very frustrating. But the people who would take our rights and freedoms away from us also don't get to do anything they want. And because politics is so exhausting, the second video for this week will be about Shadowrun law. And yes, there will be a second video this week. I want to do two videos a week in the future, if I can keep that up. Thank you very much for watching. You may have noticed, and I hope that this works, because I'm recording it now, obviously I'm recording it now, but my girlfriend and I got a new camera. I hope it's better than the old. I'm pretty sure it's better than the old one. Not 100% certain, but I have high hopes. Like, comment, subscribe, go to the Discord, Twitter. I don't have a Facebook page, and I won't make a Facebook page. Consider becoming a supporter of mine on Make Support or a patron of mine on Patreon. You get great rewards for both of them. They're the same rewards, but whatever platform you prefer to use that platform. And yeah, I don't know, leave your opinions about politics. That's a huge, it's gonna be resolved in some huge walls of text down in the comments. But leave them down there anyway, because they feed the algorithm, and boy oh boy do I want to feed the algorithm. In that spirit, have a fantastic day, and see you around, cunts.